So I have removed. So now, after the calculation of steel and percentage of steel provided, our next step is the spacing of the bars. Okay, now we will provide spacing of reinforcement. Spacing means what? The distance between the bars. How much should be the distance? So for the spacing, there are by in the IS code, some provision is given. Okay, so I will tell you first the basic formula. How do we calculate the spacing? Okay, so first thing, spacing S notation for spacing is S is equal to. How do we calculate the spacing? Spacing is calculated as area of single bar, area of single bar divided by area of steel provided, into width, into width. So now in our case, spacing S is equal to, it is area of single bar. So what was the diameter of our bar? What diameter we have finalized? 10 bar diameter. Okay, so area of bar is pi by 4 into 10 square. This is the area of single bar divided by AST provided. What area of steel we have provided? We have calculated 6 number of bars, I think. Am I right? We have calculated 6 number of bars and we have provided the area 471 near about. If any value is wrong, then you can tell me immediately. Okay, so now this is the area of single bar, this is the AST provided multiplied by width. So we have assumed 1 meter width of the slab. We have assumed 1 meter width of the slab. So 1 meter is 1000 mm. So multiply it by 1000. Okay. So if you do this calculation, you will get this value of, you will get the value of this spacing. Let me know the value. 166.66. So it is 166.66 mm. So always remember that while rounding up the spacing, we round up to lower value, and when we round up the depth, we round up the depth or other dimensions to the higher value. Okay. So what is the logic behind this rounding up the spacing to the lower value? The logic behind this is, if you minimize the spacing, then your number of bars will increase and it will provide more stiffness to the structure. So therefore, if now your stiffness spacing is 166.66, so we round this spacing to 160 mm center to center. You can also round to 165 mm also. It is also acceptable. You can round up to 165 mm or 160 mm. Okay, so this is the first thing. Second thing, now you can calculate the spacing. Okay, so secondly, IS code says that spacing S is equal to 3 into effective depth, 3D, 3 into effective depth. So what is our effective depth? 115 mm. Okay, so it is 3 into 115. So you do the calculation. I will show you where it is given in IS code. So we will move to the IS code. Okay. Now if you see this, the horizontal distance between the parallel main reinforcement bars. So now we are providing the main reinforcement. Main reinforcement bars shall not be more than 3 times the effective depth of the solid slab. Okay, here they have given 3 times the effective depth of the solid slab. So I will underline that. Okay, So here it should not be more than 3 times the effective depth of solid slab. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? 3 times the effective depth means meaning of this is spacing is equal to what? 3 into d. Okay. And now further they have given what they have given us further. Further they told us or, so this is or 300 mm, whichever is smaller. Okay. Or the second condition is you take S is equal to 300 mm. Okay. And whichever is the smallest spacing, you can provide that spacing. So this is what is the condition, and where it is given? It is given in clause number 26.3.3. Okay, so I will show you the clause number. So see, this is the clause number 26.3.3. Okay, and the page number is 46. Page number is 46. So this is also given in the IS code. Okay, now I will clear this. So we will move to the whiteboard. Okay, so now this value is 345. So this is exactly you are getting the value 345. No need to round up this. From where you have got this? So we have taken this from IS 456 2000. Okay, clause number 26.3.3, page number 46 or 48? 46 I think. 46. Okay, and the third thing is that in no case you should take spacing S is equal to 300 mm, center to center. Okay, now choose the minimum value of these three spacings. Okay, first we have found out the spacing by using regular formula, and we got that spacing as 160 mm. Second, this clause, according to this clause 26.3.3, page number 46. Okay, to calculate the spacing of the slab, it is 3 into d and 300 mm. So it is 345 and 300. So the minimum value of out of these three is 160 mm. Okay, so ultimately I will write over here provide provide 10 mm diameter bars about 160 mm center to center. Okay, and how many number of bars we are providing? 6 number of bars. Okay, but remember this, these 6 number of bars you are providing, it is for 1 meter width. If the width of the slab is 3 meter, then you should provide 18 number of bars. Are you getting my point? So whatever we have designing this reinforcement, now 10 mm bars about 160 mm center to center. This reinforcement is for 1 meter width. Okay. So now after this main reinforcement, main steel, now we will design the distribution steel. Okay. So distribution steel is nothing but the minimum steel which is required. Next is the distribution steel. Distribution steel. This is also called as minimum steel. Minimum steel. This is also called as shrinkage steel. In examination they use different words. Shrinkage steel. And this is also called as temperature steel. This is also called as temperature steel. Now see, suppose this is our slab. Okay. This is our slab. So this length is somewhat near about 3 meter and this length is 6.5 meter. So right now we have designed the bars. Okay, those bars we will provide this 10 mm bar about 160 mm center to center. we will provide these bars in this direction. This is the direction of provision of the bar. Okay, in this way we will provide these bars parallel to the shorter direction. Okay, so this is called as main steel. These bars are called as main steel. Okay, in one way slab, main steel is provided parallel to shorter direction. Parallel to shorter direction. Okay, or you can say along the shorter direction. Along shorter direction. And along longer direction, distribution steel is provided. And distribution steel is provided parallel to longer direction. So remember this thing. Okay, these are the important points. Note it down. So in the shorter direction, we always provide the main steel. So the steel which is parallel to the shorter direction, this is always your main steel. And distribution steel is always parallel to the longer direction. So these bars will be like this, vertical bars. Okay. So now we will calculate the distribution steel. So the distribution steel, it is also calculated. The clause is given in the IS code also for the distribution steel. Okay. So what does it say? We will go to the IS code and we will search that clause first. We will read that and then we will see what. So I am searching that distribution minimum steel clause in the IS code. Requirement of steel reinforcement. I think it is given on page number 48 or 49. So there is no need to by heart that. We will get all the values in the IS code. Whatever we are doing, everything is given in the IS code. Just the thing is that you note down these points, where it is given, on which page it is given. Otherwise, now whatever I am doing, this will happen to you also. I am searching now where that clause is given. Okay, even though I know that clause, see here, this is the clause, minimum reinforcement. Okay, minimum reinforcement. So what does it clause says? If you see here, the mild steel reinforcement in either direction shall not be less than 0.15% of total cross sectional area. Okay, total gross area. Okay, when mild steel is given, when mild steel is there, and then however this value can be reduced to 0.12%. Okay, when high strength deformed bars are used. When high strength deformed bars are used. So what does it say now? Basically we will see here. So the first point is when the mild steel is given. Mild steel means what? Fe 250. Okay. Mild steel means what? Fe 250. When the mild steel is given, okay, what does it say? It is 0.15% of gross cross sectional area. So your distribution steel, notation for distribution steel is ASTD, which is equal to. So how much it is? It is 0.15%. So it is 0.15%. So divided by 100 multiplied by gross cross sectional area or total cross sectional area. So total cross sectional area width is B and you should take overall depth. Overall depth is B. Why we are taking overall depth over here? Because they told us total cross sectional area we need to take into the account. Okay. Similarly, now if you see the second condition what they have given, However, this value can be reduced to 0.12% when high strength deformed bars are used or welded wires fabrics are used. So high strength deformed bars means what? High strength deformed bars means Fe415 and Fe500 or Fe550. So Fe415, Fe500, these are high strength deformed bars. And what is the percentage of steel for minimum reinforcement? That is our distribution steel. It is 0.12%. So here I can write ASTD, it is equal to 0.12 divided by 100 into B into capital D, overall depth. D into capital D. So this is clause number. Remember this clause, note it down. Okay, this is according to the clause 26.5.2.1, minimum reinforcement. Okay, and page number for this is 48. Page number is 48. Okay, so remember this. This is the clause. So now we will again move to the our whiteboard and we will proceed the problem. So here I will write as per IS 456 2000 clause number 26.5.3. Or 2.1. What was that clause? You see that clause, huh? 26.5.3.1 or 2, something is there on page number 48. Page number 48. Okay. So on page number 48. So what we will do now? So here Fe415 is given. Fe415 steel is given. So it is high strength steel. So therefore, your minimum reinforcement or distribution steel is 0.12%. So 0.12 into 100 divided by 100 into B into D. Okay. So therefore, ASTD is equal to, it is 0.12 divided by 100 into, we have assumed 1 meter width of the slab and depth. What was our overall depth? It is 135. Okay. Now if you solve this, you will get the answer of ASTD. 162 mm square. This is the area of distribution steel. Okay. This is the area of distribution steel. Now assume some bar diameter. Assume 8 mm bar diameter for distribution steel. Okay. So I will write here assume 8 mm bar diameter for distribution steel. This is also called as minimum steel. Okay. So we will calculate now number of bars. Therefore, number of bars equal to, how many number of bars are there? So area of steel, that is AST 162 divided by area of single bar. So how many number of bars are required? So it is 3.22. So we will round up that value to 4 numbers. Okay. Now calculate distribution steel provided. ASTD provided. What we are going to provide? Required is 162, but we have provided 4 bars. We have provided 4 bars, each of diameter 8 mm. So pi by 4 into 8 square. So calculate the area, mm square. So now what is the required? required is 162 mm. ASTD required is 162 mm, and we have provided 201.06. Okay, so this is the distribution steel. Now after this, calculate the spacing of distribution steel. Now to calculate the spacing of the distribution steel, one more clause is given for the spacing of distribution steel also. We need to refer that clause. Again we will go to IS 456 2000 and we will see the clause. What clause is given? So here, so now this is our IS code. Again we will move to page number 46. So this is page number 46. Okay. And now here you can read this. So I will underline it. The horizontal distance between the parallel reinforcement bars are provided against the shrinkage and temperature. Okay, so the minimum steel is also called as shrinkage steel or temperature steel. Shall not be more than, here you can see, shall not be more than 5 times the effective depth. Here it is given 5 times the effective depth. So what does it basically say? The spacing according to this law, the spacing should be 5D for distribution steel. Okay. And then or 450 mm, in no case it should be 450 mm, whichever is smaller, or S is equal to how much? 450 mm. Okay, so smaller of these three spacings we have to take the value. So now this is again clause number 26.3.3. Okay, in that B second. So page number 46. So according to this clause now, again we will move to the whiteboard. For distribution steel. So here I will write as per IS 456 2000 clause number 26.3.3 page 46. First of all, first the spacing we will calculate by our normal formula. First spacing. How do we calculate the spacing? I have told you the formula. What is the formula? So here is the formula. Okay, spacing is equal to area of single bar divided by AST provided into width. So same we will use first over here. I will write that formula once again. So here of single bar, area of single bar divided by area of distribution steel which is provided multiplied by width, multiplied by width. So now just we will put the values. S is equal to, it is pi by 4 into how much, 8 square divided by what AST we have provided. We have provided 201, ASTD provided 0.6 into we have assumed width as a 1 meter. So you will get the value of this spacing. How much it is? 250. Okay. So it is 250 mm center to center. So now according to IS code, second criteria is spacing. S is equal to, it is 5 times effective depth which is equal to 5 into 115. How much it is? 575. Okay. 575 mm center to center. And third condition is spacing S is equal to, in no case it is 450 mm center to center. Okay. So finally we will choose the minimum value, and minimum value is 250 mm. We will choose the minimum value. So here I will write provide 8 mm diameter bars about 250 mm center to center. So this is the distribution steel. This is called as distribution steel. So basically what we have done, so now if I draw the slab over here, this is the slab. This is not a perfect diagram. For your understanding I am drawing, just for your understanding. This is the slab. This is our 3 meter length. This is shorter length. Okay, this is our span. This is 6.5 or something. This is longer length. Now what we have done, we have provided our shorter steel in this direction, main steel in this shorter direction. Here we have provided our main steel bars like this. These all are our main steel bars, and these bars we have kept the diameter for these bars. These are 10 mm diameter bars above 160 mm center to center. Okay, parallel to the shorter side. And then we have provided distribution steel which is parallel to this longer side. So these are the bars which represents distribution steel. This is the top view. In plan it will look like this. Okay, in plan it will look like this. So what is the dimension? So now if you see here, these bars are 8 mm diameter bars. 8 mm diameter bars. Above, what is the spacing? 250 mm center to center. Above 250 mm center to center. So this is what is we design. So this is called as distribution steel. This is called as distribution steel, and the steel reinforcement which is provided over here, this is called as main steel. So main steel is always parallel to the shorter direction. Distribution steel is always parallel to the longer direction. So I have drawn this diagram for your understanding purpose. There is no need to draw this type of diagram in the exam. Okay. So we will draw the reinforcement diagram at the last. Okay. So now moving forward. So up till now we have provided, we have calculated the depth, then we have calculated the load, after that we have calculated the bending moment, after that we have provided the steel, after that we have provided the steel. Just a moment, lecture madam, lecture चालू. After that we have provided the steel, and in the steel first we have provided the main steel which is parallel to the shorter direction, and after that main steel we have provided the spacing of the main steel according to the clauses given in the IS code. Then we have provided distribution steel, then we have calculated the spacing of distribution steel again by using the clauses. Okay, so up till now we have solved this problem. So this problem is over here. Okay, so this is the steel whatever you have calculated, but this steel is whatever you have designed, it is correct or it is not correct. To check that we need to take certain checks. Okay, so our first check is check for shear. Okay, whatever we have done in above calculations, is it right or is it able to sustain the bending moment, shear force, torsion, that we need to check. Okay, so we will take some checks. So the first check is, it is check for shear. First check is, it is check for shear. So check for shear means check for shear force. Okay. So we will check the shear force now. So first of all calculate the shear force. Now you know that our slab is the simply supported slab. So we have calculated the bending moment as WL square by 8. Similarly, we can calculate the shear force, and that shear force is how much it is, WL by 2. Shear force, which is equal to WL upon, where W is the factored load, L is the effective span. Okay, so if I put the value, so we will give the notation to the shear force as VU. So VU is the notation which we are using for the shear force. VU is equal to W. What was our load on the slab? It was, I think, 12.56 something. Check the value multiplied by span. So here I have already told you, consider always consider shorter span for the calculation. Always consider the shorter span. कधी in case of what? In case of one way slab. In case of one way slab. Okay, so remember this. In case of one way slab, always consider the shorter span. So what was our shorter span? We have calculated the effective length by using the clauses in the IS code. So that the shorter span was 3.115 whole divided by 19.56. Okay, so the answer is 19.56 kilonewton. Now this is the shear force. We have calculated the shear force. Okay, so it is 19.56 kilonewton. Now once we know the shear force, then we will calculate the shear stress. Okay, now we will calculate the shear stress, and this is called as nominal shear stress. That is called as nominal shear stress. Okay. Roll number 22, switch off your mic. Snehal Raut, switch off your mic. So now nominal shear stress, it is tau V. So nominal shear stress means that shear stress which is developed in the slab, which is equal to, what is the formula for nominal shear stress? It is VU upon BD. It is VU upon BD. This is given in the IS code. This is also given in the IS code, so no need to by heart this. This is as per clause number 40.1, page number 72. Okay, it's IS 456 2000. So we will move to the page number 72 now in the IS code. So now here, if we move to the page number 72, then we will get that formula. Here you can see the formula, nominal shear stress. So I will highlight this. See, nominal shear stress. So what is the nominal shear stress? The formula, it is given as the nominal shear stress in beams or slabs. It can be calculated as tau V is equal to VU upon BD. So this is the formula. Tau V is equal to VU upon BD. And the explanation of each and every term is given over here. Okay. And the explanation of each and every term is given. Okay, now you can see I have zoomed the screen. This is the formula, tau V is equal to, this is the tau V is equal to VU upon BD, where VU, now this first quantity VU is what? Shear force due to design loads. So VU is nothing but shear force. So just now we have calculated the shear force. It is 19.56 kilonewton in our case. Okay. So B is the width of the member. Okay, B is the width of the member. So in our case, we have assumed this value of B as 1000 mm for the slab. Okay, we have assumed this. And D is the effective depth. So you know that. What is our effective depth? Now shear stress, nominal shear stress, the notation is tau V. It is equal to Vu upon Vd. So we will just put the values. Vu is 19.56. It is in kilonewton. So multiply this by 10 to the power 3 whole divided by B is 1000 into D is 115. So solve this and let me know the answer. लवकर solve करा fast. So it is 0.17. This is 0.17. Force is in Newton, area is in mm square. So it is 0.17 Newton per mm square. Okay. So now this is the nominal shear stress. Nominal shear stress means what? This shear stress is getting developed in the slab. Okay. This shear stress is getting developed in the slab. Now we will see the permissible shear stress. So this is the nominal shear stress. Now we will see the permissible shear stress, what the IS code says. So the notation for permissible shear stress is tau c. This is called as permissible, or in other words, if I say allowable, okay, allowable, allowable shear stress. Okay, so allowable shear stress or permissible shear stress means what? Up to the certain value, that much of shear stress is allowed in the slab. If the shear stress is getting beyond that level, then you need to redesign the slab. Okay, then you need to redesign the slab. Okay, so now the value of permissible shear stress, how to calculate the permissible shear stress. Now by the simple example, if I tell you what is the difference between, now this is our slab. Okay, this is 3 meter, this is 6.5 meter. Suppose now the shear stress we have calculated in the slab tau b is 0.17. Now we have calculated that 0.17 Newton per mm square, that is nothing but MPa. Okay, and if our permissible shear stress, if we calculated and it comes out to be 0.15 MPa, then you cannot design this slab. This slab will fail in shear, or you have to provide special shear reinforcement. लक्षात येत आहे. जर तुमच्या टाउवी पेक्षा जर टाउसी ची व्हॅल्यू कमी आली, म्हणजे नॉमिनल शियर स्ट्रेस पेक्षा परमिसिबल शियर स्ट्रेस जर कमी आला, तर हा जो स्लॅब तुम्ही डिझाइन करताय हा कशामध्ये फेल होईल? शियर मध्ये फेल होईल. ओके, सो व्हॉट इज द कंडिशन टू अवॉइड दिस फेल्युअर? व्हॉट इज द कंडिशन? सपोज नाउ our value of tau v is 0.17 and our tau c value is suppose now 0.26. Then here your permissible shear stress is greater than your nominal shear stress. Okay, or your nominal shear stress is less than your permissible shear stress. So this is okay and this is safe, so that your slab will not fail in shear. Okay, so now we will see how to calculate the permissible shear stress. So to calculate the permissible shear stress now, we know that the percentage of steel. Okay, so the percentage of steel, what percentage of steel we have provided? Percentage of steel provided, it is 0.4%. Okay, so now suppose this is our slab, this is our slab and it is simply supported over here. Okay, in the problem it is said that it is simply supported. So whatever is this 0.44 percentage of steel you are providing, this 0.4 percentage of steel will be provided at the center of the slab. This 0.4 percentage of steel, that is area of steel, AST, is provided at the center of the slab. Okay, and at the support, at some distance of the support, half of this reinforcement is provided. that is 0.2% and 0.2%. This is the normal practice while designing. समजतंय का? तर का असं करते तर याचे रिझन सांगतो बघा. समजलं तर लक्षात ठेवा. रिझन जर कळलं नाही तर हे लक्षात ठेवा. रिझन सांगतो. नाउ सी, this is simply supported slab. Okay, load is acting on the slab. So due to load, there will be the bending moment. So theoretically, the bending moment diagram will be like this. बरोबर है? And this ordinate, this is maximum WL square by 8. But if you see practically, now again I will draw the same slab. And now again I will draw the same slab. Okay. This is the simple support. But now practically speaking, in this world, there is no support as a simple support, and there is no support which you can treat as a fixed support. म्हणजे या जगात तुम्ही असं तुम्हाला प्युअर सिंपल सपोर्ट हा कुठंच मिळणार नाही आणि प्युअर फिक्स सपोर्ट हा कुठंच मिळणार नाही. त्यामुळे नेहमी आपण काय कन्सिडर करतो तर पार्शियल फिक्सिडिटी कन्सिडर करतो. म्हणजे इफ वी कन्सिडर अ सपोर्ट देन वी थिंक दॅट दिस सपोर्ट इज पार्शियली सिम्पली सपोर्टेड and it is partially fixed. Okay, so this bending moment diagram which I have called, it is theoretical bending moment diagram. Okay, this is theoretical bending moment diagram, but practically when you provide these slabs in the structure, the bending moment diagram is not like this. The actual bending moment diagram is like this. This is the actual bending moment diagram. Okay, practical bending moment diagram. Some negative or hugging bending moment is developed at the support and positive bending moment is at the center. To resist this positive bending moment, okay, to pay attention over here. This is the very important point. This is your sagging bending moment. So to resist this bending moment, this 0.4 percentage of steel is provided in the slab. Okay, at the center, at this portion. Okay, at this portion. But what about this remaining portion? Okay, theoretically you are saying at simple support the bending moment is 0. But whenever you are providing this support in the structure, there is some bending moment getting generated at the support. So to resist this bending moment, what we normally do, suppose now if we provide here 0.4 percentage of steel, so half of the steel is transferred at the support. So we will provide 0.2 percentage of steel at this support and 0.2 percentage of steel at left hand side support. Are you getting my point? Okay, are you getting my point? हे का करतोय आणि काय करतोय कळतंय का काय? एनीबडी? यस नो? कमी की बोलतोय तुमच्या सगळं डोक्यावरनं चाललंय. परत एकदा मराठीत सांगतो तुम्हाला, नीट लक्ष द्या, महत्त्वाचा मुद्दा आहे. दॅट इज वाय आय एम रिपीटिंग 2-3 टाइम्स, कारण मी परत परत हे प्रॉब्लेम शिकवताना रिपीट करणार नाही गोष्टी. सो नीट लक्ष देऊन ऐका. ओके, ही जी आहे हा आपला स्लॅब आहे आणि या स्लॅबला सिंपल सपोर्ट दिलेला आहे दोन्हीकडे, राईट हँड साईडला आणि लेफ्ट हँड साईडला. आपण जे 0.% ऑफ स्टील प्रोव्हाइड केलेलं आहे 0.4%, हे आपण कुठं देणार आहे? सेंटरला देणार आहे. का सेंटरला देणार आहे? तर ह्याची जर आपण बेंडिंग मुवमेंट डायग्राम ड्रॉ केली, इफ वी ड्रॉ द बेंडिंग मुवमेंट डायग्राम, ही आपली थेरॉटिकल बेंडिंग मुवमेंट डायग्राम आहे आणि सेंटरला तुमची बेंडिंग मुवमेंट किती येते? WL²/8. ओके, so this is our theoretical bending moment diagram. According to this theoretical bending moment diagram, there is a zero bending moment at the support. You says that the bending moment at the support is 0 kilonewton according to this theoretical bending moment diagram. But this is not the case in practice. जर तुम्ही हाच स्लॅब प्रॅक्टिकली एखाद्या स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये प्रोव्हाइड केला तर त्याचं बेंडिंग मुवमेंट प्रोफाइल हे असं येत नाही, तर ते बेंडिंग मुवमेंट प्रोफाइल असं येतं. Okay, so this is the bending moment profile. So here is the maximum bending moment. So for this maximum bending moment, you have provided 0.4 percentage of steel. Okay, but there is some hogging moment is developed at the support. So to resist this hogging moment, we provide some percentage of steel at the support also. मग प्रोव्हाइड करतो तर किती प्रोव्हाइड करायचं? तर तुम्ही सेंटरला जेवढं पर्सेंटेज ऑफ स्टील देताय त्याच्या हाफ जे काही येईल हाफ ते सपोर्टला द्या. So if at the center you have provided 0.4% of steel, then at the support it is 0.2%. Okay. So now I will write here. So percentage of steel at support which is equal to 0.4 by 2, it is 0.2%. Okay. Now from clause number 40.3, page number 73, we will calculate the value of tau c. Okay, so I will move to the IS code. So now we want page number 73. We will move to the page number 73. Page number 73. Okay, page number 73. Clause number 40.3. Okay, so clause number 40.3. See here. This is the clause number 40.3. Okay, so what does this clause says? Now if I zoom this so that it will be easier for us to read. This is clause number 40.3. See here. When tau v is less than tau c given in table number 19, okay, the minimum shear reinforcement shall be provided in accordance with 26.5.1.6. Okay, so we need to calculate the value of tau c, which is given in table number 19. Okay, so now we will search where is this table number 19. So if you move down, this is your table number 19. Now read the heading of this table number. Design shear strength of concrete in Newton per mm square. Design shear strength of concrete. Okay. So now if you observe this table carefully, what is given in this table? So here it is 100 AST upon BD. So this is nothing but percentage of steel is given over here. 100 AST upon BD means percentage of steel is given. Here the grades of concrete are given M25, 15, M20, M25, M30, and accordingly the values are given. Okay, accordingly the values are given. Now see our grade of concrete. What is the our grade of concrete? So our grade of concrete is M20. So we will look this table. Okay, we will look the column. We will look into the column of M20. So now here is the percentage of steel. This is the percentage of steel. So now what percentage of steel we have provided? We have given the percentage of steel 0.4%. आपण किती प्रोव्हाइड केले 0.4%. मग आता इथं बघा इथं किती व्हॅल्यू आहे 0.25 इज देअर फॉर 0.25 percentage. What is the answer? 0.36 is the value of tau c. This is the value of tau c. The value of tau c is given in this table for different grades of concrete. Okay, and for 0.5 the value is 0.48. Okay, the value is 0.48. So we want the value for 0.4. So we should do the interpolation now. So how can we calculate the value? We can calculate the value simply by, here we can say, for this 0.25 percentage of steel, what is the value? Value is 0.36. 0.36, the value of tau c. And for 0.5 percentage of steel, what is the value? Value is 0.48. Okay. Then for 0.4 percentage, how much it is? 0.4 percentage, how much it is? So we will do the interpolation. Okay, we will do the interpolation. So I hope now you know the interpolation. So we will take down these values 0.36 and 0.48, 0.25, 0.5. So our job is over from this table. Okay. So now we will move to the whiteboard. See what it is given. For 0.25% of steel, value is 0.36. This is the value of tau c for M20 grade. And for 0.50, the value is 0.48. So now for 0.4, what is the value that we need to calculate? So calculate it and let me know the answer. Simple interpolation is there. Calculate the value. First of all, take the difference in between these two quantities. What is the difference? 0.25. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference? It is 0.36, okay, and 0.48. It is 0.12. It is 0.12. And now what is the difference between this 0.25, this 0.25 and 0.4? What is the difference? So the difference between 0.25 and 0.4, it is 0.4 minus 0.25. What is the difference? It is 0.15. So the simple interpolation is, for 0.25% difference, the difference in tau c is 0.12. Okay. So for the difference of 0.15, what will be the value? Okay. What will be the value? So for this, simple technique is, draw the line, draw here also line, and make it equal. Okay. And make it equal. Let it be, this is our x. So therefore our value of x will be 0.15 into 0.12 divided by 0.25. It is 1.08. X is the 1.08. Now see, you have taken this 0.15 difference from 0.25. So while moving, and our zero point 0.4 value is in between these two values. So while moving from 0.25 to 0.5, this value of tau c is increased or decreased? So 0.25 it is 0.36 and 0.50 it is 0.48. So value is increased. So value is increased. So therefore while moving from 0.25 to 0.4, this value should be increased. So how much increase is there? 1.36. So your final value of tau c will be your this value 0.36 plus 1.08. Okay. So your final value of tau c is 1. Check करा बर calculation सगळे. 0.15 into 0.12 divided by 0.25. This value is 0.07. This calculation. Correct. X ची value चुकली होती ना. So it is 0.072 this value. तेच मी म्हणाले 50 च्या वर कसं काय चाललंय. So here 0.072. So what is the answer now? 0.36. It is 0.43 न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वेअर. आणि याला तुम्ही क्रॉस व्हेरीफाय कसं करणार, तुमचे आन्सर बरोबर आहे का नाही? तर IS कोड मध्ये बघा 0.25 ला व्हॅल्यू किती दिलेली आहे? 0.36 दिलेली आहे. आणि 0.5 ला व्हॅल्यू किती आहे? 0.48 आहे. तुमचा आन्सर किती आलेला आहे? 0.4 ला. 0.4 ला तुमचा आन्सर आलेला आहे 0.43. म्हणजे या दोन्हीच्या बरोबर मध्ये व्हॅल्यू आलेली तुमची. करेक्ट आहे तुमचं कॅल्क्युलेशन. ओके. So this is how we will find out the value of tau c. Okay. So I will write on the next page directly. So therefore tau c is equal to 0.43 Newton per mm square. So now our tau v, which is equal to 0.17 Newton per mm square, means MPa, is less than tau c, which is equal to 0.43 MPa. Okay, so our check for shear is satisfied. Okay, so therefore our check for shear is satisfied. So here you can write, hence safe. Hence it is safe. It will not fail in shear. समजते काय सांगतोय ते? It will not fail in shear. So if this value tau v is less than your tau c, then it will not fail in shear. And if opposite is the case, this your nominal shear stress increased than the permissible shear stress. So the name itself suggests that permissible. Permissible म्हणजे काय? जेवढ्याची परवानगी आहे तेवढंच permissible. Okay. So tau c is the permissible shear stress. In any case, your nominal shear stress should not be exceeded than the permissible shear stress. Remember this. If it gets exceeded by this permissible shear stress, then this permissible shear stress, then your slab will fail in shear. Okay. So still two checks are remaining. Check for deflection and check for development length. So those two checks we will cover in next lecture. Okay, total three checks we should take. First is the check for shear, second is the check for deflection, and third is the check for development length. So from these three checks, today we have completed only one check, that is check for shear. After that, tomorrow we will complete check for deflection and check for development. Okay, so today we will stop over here.